There was a discussion that we had about 2 years ago, and people who were here on the channel during that time know we were talking about this, and people thought I was crazy, out of my mind, didn't know what I was talking about. But yet here we are having this discussion that may actually, in fact, take place sometime in just the next 3 months. And what we're talking about is ADA, in fact, flipping Solana, something people thought was no longer possible. But yet here we are. So we're going to have a discussion about exactly what's going on here, what kind of time frame, again, we may be looking at here, and something bullish that we didn't get a chance to talk about in my earlier ADA video. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So just looking at ADA in general right here, we can see that US money woke up, chose violence, trying to dump the charts. And, this is a great spot for ADA to try to bounce off of. We look at our 200-day SMA. You can see it comes to a point right at the end of our broadening descending wedge here in terms of ADA, right angle broadening descending wedge. And so ADA could potentially get down to, 65 and a half cents, 66 cents, and try to target a bounce from there. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. It's possible that, if the negative sentiment once again takes over, like I talked about earlier, we could see a retest at the bottom of our trend. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But again, retail is very unpredictable right now. We're kind of in this fearful state in the market, even though we really shouldn't be, because again, this is not February 2nd, February 3rd. All right. So we'll see what happens here as the day goes on, but something actually pretty bullish is playing out in terms of ADA. And this was actually pointed out by a viewer. Can't remember who it was, but appreciate you for saying this. What we're actually seeing in terms of ADA right now is a little bit of bullish divergence, short-term bullish divergence, right? So we're seeing the bottoms drop on ADA, and we are seeing the bottoms on the rise on the RSI. So this is a strong sign. And again, this is why we could, in fact, see ADA kind of bounce out of these ranges, get a nice little pushback towards our 200-day EMA. We'll see what happens here, right? Just got to let everything play out. Now, that being said, looking at BTC, we also have some hidden bullish divergence playing out. So this was actually pointed out by Crypto Rover. And what we're seeing is actually, again, the bottoms on the rise for the price of BTC. So this goes from all the way back here in September to now. Wow, I can't draw. I apologize. From all the way back here in September, from on the price to all the way back here on the dropping RSI on the bottom. So again, bullish setups, bullish signs. These are the things that we want to see. Now, that being said, looking at BTC structure in general, we have two wedges playing out right now, and BTC has fallen out of the upper wedge back into the lower wedge. And so it's a question of, which of these two wedges is going to win? Are we going to climb back in here and be more on the bullish side of things, or are we going to stay on the lower side and potentially target some lower prices? And in fact, when we're looking at BTC right now, what we can see is we are currently below our bull market support band. Now, this isn't big panic moment yet. This isn't everybody freaking out quite yet. And why I'm saying that is we have dropped below this many times and ended up closing candles above here. Now, the summer isn't a good example of this because the summer we dealt with just black swan event after black swan event after black swan event. But typically what tends to happen is if we do fall below here, we get wicks back to the upside. All right. Now, here's the thing. When we talk about what happened last Friday, the Bybit event, technically that can be a black swan event, an unexpected event in the market that changes sentiment. And so there is the potential for us to close a candle below here. I don't think that's a great sign for the market if that does in fact happen. So I think that, by the time we get to Sunday, we're going to have a pretty clear understanding of where we're headed, right? Again, we have a lot of great things working in our favor, a lot of bullish things playing out. And I guess, this is kind of where you could see things targeting around 80K or so for anybody that's talking about 80K. If we do continue to just follow this trend, we could see us approach those levels. Not there yet. We saw a good bounce off our 200 days, so we just got to wait and be patient, right? Now, I didn't want to get too far off off track here, but what I stumbled across was this article that said 3 reasons to sell Ethereum and Cardano today and buy Solana. Solana right now is a sinking ship, okay? And this isn't to talk bad about other chains or anything like that, but they haven't done a very good job of addressing some of the major issues, right? Congestion, downtime. I mean, they haven't had downtime in a while, but, it's become the chain of degens. And unfortunately for Solana, it's not being looked at in a serious way. And that is where there is this huge disconnect. And what we actually saw at that time was it was a retail haven, right? When we talk about the early part of the bull market cycle, people flocked to it and they were having fun with meme coins. There was some incredible launches that were some of the best performing assets in history. But the problem is it's just become a revolving door of just shit. All right. And so this is why governments aren't looking at it. This is why enterprises aren't looking at it. Sure, there are some spot ETF filings for Solana, but look at what ADA has been doing versus, or Solana has been doing versus ADA during this time. It's just dropping and dropping and dropping. It's a pretty consistent trend since all the way back in April of 2024. Yes, it's had some bursts of excitement along the way, some dead cat bounces. For example, just looking at the Trump and Melania meme coin, right? That was something that caused a little bit of burst, a little bit of movement, but apart from that, there's not much going on. All right. And here's the thing. Things are going to get worse for Solana. And again, this isn't, to talk bad about Solana or anything like that. But when we talk about March 1st, we're having the FTX distributions in terms of Solana hit the market, which right now we're seeing a mass exodus from Solana. When we look at all the way back in March of 2024, there were these huge distributions or huge selling of VC money that took place to the tune of $2 billion all the way back then. A lot of those unlocks begin this year. And this isn't to spread FUD or anything like that, but I think that lateral movements in the market are just kind of bizarre. All right. I don't know why people would think of doing that right now. Actually, right now, if you're in Solana, it might not be a bad time to rotate to ADA because the narrative is building, right? We're less than a 3x away from flipping Solana. This might be happening on this next big surge for the crypto market, because this next big surge, I think, is the one where not only do we see retail start hitting the space once again, we start seeing adoption take place, but that's at a time too where we're probably going to have some clarity surrounding US-based crypto. We're probably going to have some clarity surrounding what blockchains the government is going to be using. And guess what? Cardano is in these discussions. Solana is not. That's where there's this huge difference. And when you start talking about governments and enterprises getting into the game, it moves the charts in a different way. And that is where I think Solana is really going to get left behind in the end, right? And again, this isn't meant to be a bash on Solana video or anything like that, but I just want to come full circle here because we talked about this all the way back in 2023. And now here in 2025, things are starting to align that way, where you're going to see, again, ADA probably outperform Solana the rest of this market cycle, which is what I said would happen. So I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. Do you think Solana is going to be flipped by ADA in the next 3 months? But have a great day. Show your love below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.